Morning, morning. No baby. No baby. No baby yet. We are still on baby watch. 2023. Your slime comes today. Yay! I love that. We are still very, very solidly in baby watch 2023. No baby. No baby. I am making coffee. What are you doing? I am making coffee. Making my mom leave the hospital just to pick it up. Oh my gosh, Juliana. That's so funny. How are you doing anyway? Is everything feeling okay? Hey, Amanda. Hey, Haley. Are you feeling better at all? Like even a little bit? A little smidge better? It's a torrential downpour outside, y'all. It's wild out there. There's so much rain. I mean, it's so rainy. Like, what is happening? I don't even understand. Oh, God. Juliana, how does all of that happen at one time, even? June 4th. What are you going to do in the meantime? That's a whole month. Isn't today the 4th? Hey, Tiffany, I missed you guys too. This morning, after I was brushing my teeth, I went to put my toothbrush down and I completely scratched myself here. I was like brushing and like my nails are not super sharp, but they're like fairly sharp. And it hurts. I scratched myself, you guys. AKA Love Never Dies. Brian. I bought tickets to Shucked. And it's mostly your fault. So you should pass on to them that your marketing worked. Brian, it worked. I bought 4 tickets to Shucked because of Brian. I got the pneumonia from case it gave to me liquids. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm in my grandparents' car. Oh, okay. Bought tickets to Shucked because of Brian. So, for when you're here in October. No, not for when I'm there in October. You guys are going to kill me. Hey, Cindy, I'm actually in the middle of packing your order. It's a long story. I tell Mike I expect a thank you and his best musical. Exactly. Tell him that. Literally, yeah. I ghosted your conversation yesterday. I don't think that's true. Did I really? Do we get shipping confirmation? Mine says in process, but I wasn't sure if it comes separately. Yes, Liz, great question. If your order has been shipped, you will get a tracking number in a separate email. Liz, I don't believe yours has shipped yet. It's on my list for today. I know Cindy is next, so whoever ordered right after Cindy, they're next after that. I just go in order of who placed the orders first, unless there's a custom order, and then I skip and go to the next one. Just for context, I asked you if you wanted to collab for Pride and Left on Red. I don't even have that. Are you sure, Jenna? Yeah, Shelly, I'll get to it in 2 seconds. Jenna, I'll go back and look. I might have been driving and then forgot that you messaged me. Sasha, you stayed. I love every single. Oh, thank you so much, Gabriella. That's so sweet. So I was going to say, for context, you guys, I'm going to read my text. I have, oh my God. Corn slime for Tony's. Yes. Wait, Brian, do you have a person for them? Okay, so Brian, I'm going to be there the week before the Tonys. So if they want cornbread slime, I will make them cornbread slime and bring it to the cast before the Tonys, and they can just play with it. I got my first order yesterday. I'm loving caramel frappuccino and LO. That was your first order, Tiffany? Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. So yes, I will be in New York the week before the Tonys. Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate that. Oh, don't worry, someone in this world. Don't stress at all. We're just making coffee and chit-chatting about New York and shows and Juliana's illness and no idea, but they're pulling the Avenue Q style campaign. Yeah, I'll message them, Brian, and I'll be like, hey, I'm going to be there. First order of this restock. Oh, I was like, Tiffany, I'm so confused. Like, yeah, you heard the confusion. I was like, what? Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you love your slime also. My slime video or my Tony video. ¿Por qué no los dos? And how she ghosts, and how I ghost people. Usually the only time I ghost someone is if they text me when I'm in the car and the message accidentally gets opened while I'm driving. Yeah, Brian, maybe I'll maybe we can collab on something. That would be really funny. That would be really funny. What are Unwell doing? Interesting. You know, I'm not sure. Sasha and I both answered, you making coffee then reading? Yes. Coffee, and then reading a book. And then I'm going to pack orders. And then, yeah. No worries, Slime. You all good, hun. So, yeah. Yeah, I will be in New York briefly. Good morning. Right before the Tonys. And the one show that we're choosing to see, there's 4 of us. We're going to go to Shocked. Yep. They let me choose. I'll come rolling up to New York in my hospital bed. FaceTime while packing. I assume that's the next word. This is a game. Am I supposed to pick? Everyone send me half their sentence and I'll try to decipher what you were trying to say. FaceTime, will you pack? I'll start my stacks. I can call while I do it, but it's very hard for me to FaceTime while I do it because it requires a lot of moving around. And I usually, you can hear the rain. I know, it's crazy, right? It's very loud. You like my cup? It's from Italy. This was my Italy cup. I bought this on the first day that I lived in Italy and made it what I drank out of every day until I was surprised to see so many noms for Shocked. You know, I'm not surprised to see so many noms for Shocked. I mean, I can still hear you while you move. That's true. Yeah. Okay. The scratch on my lip really hurts, you guys. I can't believe I did that to myself. Like, I was just trying to brush my freaking teeth. I'm not trying to scratch myself. Ouch. Big ouch. Ugh. So if anyone's watching Baby Watch 2023, there's no baby yet. Catherine's annoyed. She's very, very annoyed to not have this baby yet. But, you know, I was really sad Caroline Interchange didn't get the nom. Oh, Caroline. Oh, okay. Surprise was the 5-slot technical knowns of Kimberly Kimbo. No baby on Star Wars Day. Probably not. Probably not. She really wanted him to be born today, but look at this, you guys. Do you see that? I guess you can't. It's wild. It's very wet out there. When will they talk about it? They're already talking about induction for a number of reasons, mostly having to do with complications she had with Zoe. It could happen on Sunday. Has she tried eating an entire pineapple and taking a walk? No, we haven't tried that one yet. She did go swimming yesterday, though. I missed the outdoors. I'd take it right now. Fair enough, Juliana. That is reasonable. Sammy, she hasn't done the pineapple thing yet. I should tell her that she did. My mom told her to go put her feet in water because that's what made my mom go into labor with her. Today's not over yet. You're right. Today's not over yet. It could still happen. You're right, Cindy. I hear you. I'm going to tell her to go get pineapple. Or maybe I'll just buy her a pineapple and chuck it at her out the window of my car as I drive by. Pineapple! She eats spicy food all the time. It doesn't really do much for her. She literally always eats spicy food, so that's not surprising. I mean, we all know the best way. Yeah, I think she's been doing that too. My mom told her that one as well. Drink castor oil. She said that's the only one she doesn't want to do. So we'll see. We'll see. She said, oh, no. Oh, maybe you guys are thinking of something different, Becca. Then you must be thinking of something different if you're thinking of something that was good for Max. No, Max is sick. Max always gets sick whenever Catherine is going to have a baby. Like the week of Zoe's birth, Max was also sick. And now this child is going to be born and Max is sick again. So I mixed it with OJ. It was gross, but it worked. Aftermath was also gross. I believe that. I believe that, Cindy. She does not want to do the castor oil thing, but maybe she'll have to. She had to be given Pitocin with Zoe because her water broke, but then contractions never started, which obviously is dangerous. Yeah. All right, well, we'll see. Maybe I'm getting a nephew today. Maybe we don't get a Star Wars baby. I don't know. I don't know. She can try the natural way. Yeah. No, she can try. She can try all sorts of things. She's just annoyed, you know what I mean? She's just like done being pregnant, you know? She's just like, every time I'm like, hey, how are you doing? She's like uncomfortable. I'm like, right. Feel at least Chewbacca in my heart. Yeah, we can call him Chewie. I think we should just continue to call him Chewie all day. That's what we should have been calling him all along. I just got a text message from one of my friends that says, hoping the newest Padawan makes his entrance today. It's cute. That was a real cute text. Baby Chewie. All right, so let's read. If anyone doesn't remember, we are just on part 2. We stopped right before part 2 on purpose because that felt like a really good stopping point. So we're going to start part 2 today, and then I'm going to go pack orders all day because I really don't want to have any more orders after tomorrow morning. Like I really want tomorrow morning's trip to the post office to be the last one other than custom orders. That's the goal. Well, and maybe other than some roll for slimes, which is the same. But anyway, all right, we'll do some roll for slimes later today as well because I need to get through some more of those and probably finish the grab bags as well. We don't have a lot of grab bags left, but we'll definitely finish some today. Probably early afternoon I'll do some. I do have a Zoom for work early in the morning, 10 to 11, so it'd have to be after that. Okay, so chapter 32, Jericho. I'm going, Piper said, dropping into a chair opposite me in the war room. It didn't sound like an argument. No, Beck told her from the chair next to me. She'd been giving me the rundown on the way things worked outside of Flagstaff, pulling an updated map of what was left of North America. And who told you? Beck said, frowning. Kind of a hard secret to keep considering that you were at death's door yesterday, Piper told her, crossing her arms. And now you're leaving for Anchorage? May I ask why? Ask the Paladin, Beck told her in an uninterested tone and then typed away on her green hollow keyboard. He's the one with all the ambition. Paladin? Piper asked, flicking her eyes up to me. Long story, I told her. The summed up version is that I need Cross and so does Beck. You're fools, Piper told us harshly. Beck, you know that the trip to Anchorage is nearly impossible to make on foot. Scowling, Beck said, Archimedes does it all the time, and it's not like I haven't made the trip before myself. Archimedes, I said, just like I'd remembered the name of an actor I'd been trying to recall for hours. I thought it was Achilles or Artemis. The look I received from Piper let me know just how funny she thought I was. Shrugging, I said, sorry, I've never met the guy. Anyway, Beck said, enough about your ex-Viking. Here's the route. Hey, Grace. Grace, I still have your grab bag to do. If you're available today, we can do yours today. I don't know if you are, but we can do it later today, Grace. I've got you. You're literally the top of my list. I've just been waiting to do yours. Unless you don't want to wait for a live and then I can do you on a video. It's totally up to you. You are. Okay, cool. We'll do it. Piper looked away from us after Beck's comment, and I noticed big time watching her. I would have gotten away with it, too, had Beck not seen me and snapped her fingers right in front of my face. Hey, I said enough about Piper. You died, so she moved on. Get over it. And then Piper pushed away from the table hard and stomped towards the door. Years ago, I most likely would have called Beck down for her harsh mannerisms, but since all she was saying was true, I just looked at the map. That was a little uncalled for, Beck. You better write down all the human girl. You better write all the human girls off right now, JJ, because you and I are destined for each other, Beck said, her smile broadening while she leaned her shoulder against mine. Can't you see us, sweetie pie, ruling the world with an iron fist? The little paladins crawling around at our feet, the foot of our thrones, made out of bones of our enemies. I have more hair than you do, I said. Something tells me I'll never be able to look past that. Rubbing at the peach fuzz on her head, Beck said, yes, you would prefer hair of a more primary color. I saw it. Beck said, Blue said my hair would grow back in the next few years anyway, but I've grown attached to this look. When I didn't say anything, Beck gave me a sideways glance. We haven't even left yet, and you're already annoyed with me? You wouldn't have been my first choice for a traveling companion, I told her. Now, how do we do this? Beck hit a few keys, and Arizona lit up red on the map. The main thing to remember is to stick to the West Coast. The only exception is that we'll skip California altogether and cross through Nevada. Every time she mentioned a state, it lit up on the map. We'll hit the Oregon coast and then head up to Washington. I watched as the states lit up, and I raised my hand. Sighing, Beck said, What? What is it? Why the West Coast, I asked. I mean, straight north through Utah, Idaho, Montana seems like it'd be easier. The westernmost coastline has been considered badlands ever since 2037, which was the year when the American government decided that they were wasting precious time trying to fix the impossible, so the West Waste isn't exactly being fought over by the bears and the fascists, Beck said. Mind you, there are still other dangers in the wastes. Most of the abandoned cities are homes of unfriendly clans of both raiders, deserters, and maybe even a few cannibals. We can skirt around most of them, but we'll for sure have to stop in Seattle for more supplies because after that, the U.S. ended up on the map and Canada started. We hit the real badlands. I frowned at the map. British Columbia? Well, if that's what you want to call it, Beck said, and the map zoomed in. You can forget all the national parks and beautiful landscapes of your time. Just gird your loins for nuclear fallout. British Columbia was where the nukes crippled North America, and it's home of some of the most grotesque abominations known to what's left of man. I peered at the hollow map. Pictures of destruction flashed up for me to see floating above the map. Check this out, Beck said, reaching for a picture on her right, pulling it out of the stream to my waiting hands. Have I mentioned that I love future technology? I looked at the small tab for a few seconds before realizing that what she wanted to show me. So there's no snow, I said, not really believing it. How? The picture depicted an enormous city curled up in the horrifying embrace of Mother Apocalypse, complete with collapsed building, streets cluttered with destroyed cars and buses and whatnot. Although Mother Apocalypse has a bad habit of giving her kids bad nose jobs, I still recognize the trashed city. Vancouver, I said. Looks like a real fixer-upper. Quite, Beck confirmed. There's a lot of theories about why it's only 70 degrees there all year round, and no one knows because the city's populace keeps any current scientists from stopping by to investigate. Maybe it's the radiation, I proposed, shrugging and tossing the picture back into the hollow stream. Could be. Considering that what the inhabitants look like, I wouldn't be surprised. I nodded before a strong thought came to me. Well, it really just walked up and slapped my brain hard and rough. Does Archimedes go this way? That he does, Beck muttered. Though he's got a rigged upcycled hovercraft thing that he's been riding for years now. The thing is, Ark is so known to most of the enemies, he can come and go as he pleases. Frowning, I asked, how's that? Beck just shrugged. Maybe geologists are granted an infinite number of get-out-of-death-free cards at the beginning of wars. I don't even know what he's looking for, to be honest. And since he hasn't exactly been vocal about it, I just never asked. Call me the paranoid ex-boyfriend if you want, but something wasn't right. Why is he going to Anchorage again? Beck glanced at me with narrow eyes. Don't tell me you're the paranoid ex now. Just tell me why, I said, trying not to groan. I mean, how many other major things can Anchorage have that would attract him there at least once a year? That's not a little weird to you? Anchorage is one of the 4 operational and surviving cities left standing, Beck said, like it wasn't a big deal to have only 4 functioning cities left in North America. It's not weird that he makes the trek a lot because Anchorage is home to a lot of great minds of what makes the world a better place. We call it the school for reason, actually. Chloe told me that there were only 3 cities left, I said, looking at the map again. Sounds like her.
she was a red to the bone and therefore wouldn't mention the other city that the rivals, or some people think, surpassed the Reds' technologies and mechs, she said, smirking and shaking her head. That's why she, along with most of the entire populace of Flagstaff, left out Dallas, Texas. What's the specialty of these places? Anchorage is the school. New York is the food market of sorts. Flagstaff is home to lovable warmongers living off of death. And Dallas is doing that better. Beck said, education, food, and weapons. What more could you ask for in a country? Welcome to the new American dream, I muttered. Flagstaff, Anchorage, New York City, and Dallas being the last cities around was kind of depressing. Could have been worse, though. I mean, Detroit could have still been around. That'd be the assassins for sure. If you happen to be from Detroit, don't be too hard on yourself. Since murder is the only crime a state by law has to report to the FBI, maybe the city was just packed with a lot of serial killers and not a conglomerate of assorted lawbreakers. Wow. Why am I defending a city that no longer exists? Whatever. Keep your chin up, people from Detroit. And if you happen to live around nuclear holocaust o'clock, you might want to think about moving to one of the 4 previously mentioned cities. And learn to let go, for God's sakes. It's only Michigan, after all. What about the Yukon? I asked, pointing. Beck mused quietly. Not much to it, really. Lots of open, snow-covered spaces. I guess the snowcats could be a problem to the humans traveling with us. Also, Archimedes swear he saw a wolf in the Yukon once. Probably not true, though. I already heard about snowcats, but I asked her about them anyway. Snowcats are pretty common along the whole route, Beck said. A red line appeared that trailed from Flagstaff to Anchorage, lighting our path and coursing it with color. They're big-ish, but nothing a toddler in a battlesuit couldn't tear apart. There are cats in a greater number in the Yukon, though, and they've been known to attack in large packs. Frowning while nodding, I took all of that in before asking why she didn't believe Archimedes about the wolf. Wolves aren't as common as snowcats? Only Michigan offended. Apparently a lot of you were Michigan offended. How big are we talking? They were bigger than snowcats, a lot meaner too. A lone wolf could have easily taken out a squad of 20 armed and armored soldiers in a matter of minutes, Beck said, tapping her red keys. Here's what they look like, she said, and a picture floated to me. My mouth dropped open a little. I squinted at the wolf in the hologram, making sure my eyes weren't playing tricks on me. The build was about the same as the wolves I was accustomed to, but it was massive, and it didn't have a wolf's signature bushy fur, or any fur for that matter. That skin you're looking at, and normal weapons couldn't penetrate it, Beck said after I'd blinked at the grotesque picture for a few seconds. A tank or a mech might have been able to. They could bite straight through just about anything, too. Armored cars included. Some even say that they could breathe fire, but that's not a fact. Yay? I mumbled. Any other crazy big animals I need to know about before we set out? The question was sarcastic and quite frankly rhetorical as well, but Beck answered anyway. I didn't mention Rock in Portland because I still don't believe in that myth. Rock? I asked, finding Portland, Oregon on the map. Mammoth-sized bird of prey that adopted the city as a nest. Eats anything that enters, Ark says. Some stories say it's a Pharyngus hawk, and others say that it's a sort of seagull or sea eagle. Rock is what Ark calls the thing. Rock. That's the famed geologist saying, there goes that famed geologist again, stealing my thunder. Not satisfied that he took my girl, he also gets to name possible real enormous birds after legendary enormous birds. Pfft, what a crock. Ark says he skirts about 70 miles west of Portland on the shoreline because of the bird, but he also admitted to me that he's only ever seen signs of its prey, which didn't actually make me a believer. But I suppose we shouldn't risk it anyway, Beck said, and the red line moved a few centimeters to the east. We discussed the trip for another hour, hashing out the items that we would need to take with us as well as pit stops along the way that would accommodate our human travel companions. Human. There it was again. The word meant more to me now than it ever did, since I lost the rush to call myself such, since I lost the right to call myself such. Why am I reading so poorly today? I'm sorry, you guys. I only met a man during my trip to the Crusades who said humanity was a choice and not something man or beast is born with. Although I didn't really understand what the old men had been getting at then, I now grasped at the words like a drowning man, hoping that they would become shackles of sanity for my clouded mind. I know, dramatic, right? It took 3 days of prepping, but the witching hour arrived and we were finally ready to go. "Take care of the place while I'm gone," Beck said to a big guy that learned later was part of Piper's infamous ghost squadron. "We'll get back when we get back." "I wouldn't keep the lights on," Red said, stepping into the elevator against my better judgment. Red wasn't the only other person who'd demanded that she was going to be a part of the trip. Sam also told me that he was going whether I liked it or not. "You realize that if things get bad out there, Beck and I are going to be saving your skins constantly, right?" I asked all 4 of our human companions when we gathered them up and tried to talk them out of going. "Jerry," Sam said, laying a big hand on my shoulder, "like I'd want to die doing anything else?" I wasn't exactly sure how to respond to that, and after stuttering and fumbling around for a second, Red said, "The rebels don't need you like we do, Jericho. I can't stay here while you go and risk your life." Piper was staring at the elevator wall, and I saw her jaw tighten at Red's words. The Australian girl could have kissed me right then and there and probably not have drilled as deep into the awkward thickness as what she just said. It was like Piper wanted to explode at times and scream about, well, I'm not sure what. She looked on the verge a couple of times, and I also knew that after our little chat in her quarters, that she'd moved on. Beck was watching the levels climb on the keyboard. "Don't be dramatic, Red," she said. "I need him too. Maybe not like your blue-haired sibling, though." Thinking that Blue was going to attack Beck again, I looked at her, but saw that she was smiling. "I do," Blue said. "No way I was going to let my future husband leave me." Wow. Just recap here, shall we? I was starting a cross-country trip with an estranged ex-girlfriend, a girl who almost wanted to have my synthetic super babies, a crazy psycho chick who just loved pointing out the first 2 things, and a big guy who wanted to go so that he could possibly go out in a blaze of glory at my side. Sounds like a trip for the ages, does it not? Then the elevator stopped, and in less than 5 minutes, the 6 of us were standing on the streets of Flagstaff next to our ride, which was a lightweight armored vehicle that I'd swiped from the Bears a few weeks back. It wasn't roomy like some of the other transports, but this one was faster. Blue said when I had told her we'd killed each other in less than an hour. Wait, I'm sorry. What? It wasn't roomy like some of the other transports, but this one was faster, Blue said, when I told her that we'd killed each other in less than an hour that close quarters. After she explained that the smaller white rig, the one that she called an MK Waltz, was also capable of cloaking against radar, I said maybe we'd survive being packed in like sardines if it meant we wouldn't be blown to smithereens by the Bears' missiles. The MK Waltz, to my utter delight, looked like something straight out of an armored car video game, complete with a mounted machine gun, pulse cannons, and wicked wheels that looked like they could shred through anything. Only it was white. Not bucking the system or being picky, but the MK Waltz looked like more of a granite or a charcoal kind of ride. And it wasn't really small compared to the 2012 cars, but in 2345 it was almost puny. I said that if 4 people riding in it were wearing battle armor, then yeah, we were in for a packed trip. But Red showed me the diagram on her hologram and said that the cabin of the MK Waltz was warm enough for them not to be in armor, showing me where the suits would be held somewhere in the back. All in all, it wasn't that cramped once we climbed in and got situated, except the whole state of Texas wouldn't have had enough room for me as far as Piper was concerned. "How far are we going today?" I asked from the co-pilot seat next to Red, who was designated driver at the moment. "Las Vegas," she said, flipping a few switches and then powering on the engine as it roared to life. Everything the driver needed save the pedals was complete, soft blue hologram, even steering wheel, which Red grabbed in her left hand while shifting the hollow stick into gear with her right, and then we were off. "It's around 4 hours away," Red said. "It'll be dark when we get there, so we'll need to hole up in Sin City for the night." I nodded, listening, while I glanced out of my thick passenger window. I heard bickering in the back, and instantly shouted, "Don't make me come back there." "But Beck started it," Blue said, and I knew she was smiling because, well, there wasn't more she could do anymore without me knowing. "I will turn this armored car around right now," I said, and everyone got a chuckle out of that. After the passengers fell silent and turned their own thoughts, I reclined in my seat and pulled my hood over my eyes. "Wake me up if anyone needs their butts saved," I said to Red, crossing my arms, and settled into the semi-comfy chair. In 5 minutes, we pulled out of Flagstaff and started on our journey to Nevada. Vegas, baby. All right. Since I'm having trouble reading properly, and also I have a meeting early this morning and I want to get stuff packed before that, I'm going to go ahead and stop there for today. Hopefully tomorrow I will be able to read more. I don't know why my brain is just fried, probably from packing so many orders late last night. I really, really, really want to get through a ton of orders today if I can. And then when the rain stops, take them to the post office. So that is what I'm going to do. What's up with the Michigan Cider today? I don't know, Grace. We'll have to. Everyone should write down their questions for John. Have a good day. Hopefully. Yeah. No baby yet. I'll probably be back on around noon to pull some grab bags, y'all, or maybe do a roll for slime. So I'll see you all later. Bye, guys.